And then we can give you notes like we did last week via Dropbox if that works.
I did not get those notes.
Oh, shit.
I didn't get any notification about anything.
We left so many notes.
Oh my God. Are you serious?
Yeah.
I'd taken literally a whole day. I think it was like 10 hours or so. A huge, huge chunk of time.
Fortunately, we were able to move past that one pretty quick. But when it comes to design, the struggle is real. Get ready, guys. Episode 2 is happening right now.
Welcome to Design from Scratch. Okay, let me back up and explain how we got here. In the event you don't know who or what the Futur is, we're a group of creative professionals on a mission to teach anyone willing to listen the value of design. More specifically, how to bridge that vast gap between design and business. And yes, that means how to charge more money to design logos, but it's bigger than that. The Futur is about changing the way we learn. Our goal is to teach 1 billion people, and it all hinges on how many subs our YouTube channel gets. Just kidding. Well, kind of.
Hello, friends, and welcome to episode 2 of Design from Scratch. If you somehow missed the first episode, do yourself a favor, go back and watch that right now, because you are missing out on some fantastic drama. There's a link to it in the description below. Don't worry, I'll still be here when you get back. Oh, while you're down there, look for a link to our sponsor, Webflow. And yeah, contractually I have to say that, but keep watching the series and you'll see how amazing Webflow really is. No joke. Okay, let's do a quick recap.
Our website is long overdue for a refresh, so we're burning down our WordPress site and rebuilding it in Webflow. But, as it turns out, even as professionals, designing for yourself is super challenging, and conflicting opinions amongst our team is not helping.
You know, we've had round 1 of design. What was your gut reaction to it?
I hated it.
Oh my God, okay.
My feedback at this point would be start over from the ground up.
Ouch, ouch.
The stakes are high, but to quote one of my favorite metal bands, we didn't come this far just to run away. It's time to start designing.
We have a designer working on the whole website design. So when the design is finished, we're gonna develop it ourselves using Webflow.
For this website, our big goal really is to host all of the different types of content that we make in a well-designed way.
We've talked a lot about how we think the design can help users find the information they need, and so that's, that's the main user goal.
My biggest concern at this point is to make sure that the thing is usable, because if people don't know where the buy button is, we're gonna have a major problem.
So, where were we?
We have another meeting today. It's our sort of weekly design review. So Jamie's gonna come in.
I think what we want you to do, Jamie, is just to present the other pages, and we'll just ask questions along the way.
I think the real goal for that stuff is understand the decisions that are being made, look at the designs together. If there's any big questions or things that's nope, that just doesn't work, get that out in the air and discuss it face to face so that, nothing's kind of left unknown as we move another week forward in the design process. We don't vary the weight of any of the type, or at least not in a significantly noticeable way. I'm not saying we have to, but we can.
I had this thing where I kind of stripped out most of the different weights of this huge type family in favor of going with this regular weight, which was very clean and crisp and a little on the lighter side, and felt really refined to me. So I'd kind of said we're sticking to this, and now I think we're feeling like it's kind of missing one level of hierarchy.
I was hoping to achieve enough contrast just through scale, but in the back of my head, I was at some point they're gonna ask about the font weights.
I think it...
I don't know. I don't know. I think the regular looks more polished, but I'm willing to throw another weight in there if you want to.
It's kind of like the, admitting that you were wrong as a designer, and, I was really tied to it. It's a little bit of a pride thing, but, if it helps the website, then I'm on board.
But yeah, the different weights made me feel a lot better about this.
Okay, cool. Yeah. I was wrong. Oh, God. I was so wrong.
In the end, like I said, it made it a really positive difference, and I think kind of transformed the look of the site overall. But it's really hard for me to let go of decisions that I've made that maybe the rest of the team hasn't. I think when I was staff, I really took everything personally. I think it was design is life kind of mentality for me, and I felt like I had to be right. If someone disagreed with me, I felt like it meant that I was wrong, and then, peeling back the onion layers in therapy, you finally get to I'm not worthy, I'm not good enough, and that's, even though it's usually buried under all those layers, it's kind of a tough thing to even acknowledge. But I think I'm kind of getting there, and I've just accepted that I'm not going to be right about everything. I feel like this team is a bunch of really, really smart, insightful people, and everyone has opinions that are valuable, not just me. I think since becoming a freelancer, it's gotten a lot easier. Aesthetic decisions, I don't take personally if people disagree with me, and I feel like I'm much more willing to try and to change my mind.
Jamie brings up a very familiar dichotomy that I think a lot of us creative folks experience. It's hard not to put so much of yourself into your work. And then when that work is criticized, it's especially hard not to take it personally. We talked about passionate detachment in the last episode, but even with that in mind, sometimes notes can get under your skin. And that's okay. Not everyone's great at giving feedback either. If I could offer any advice to those of you writing this particular struggle bus, it would be leave your ego at the door and try to learn how to disagree without being disagreeable. Speaking of disagreement,
when I first saw the design, I loved it. I really liked it. I could see it as an evolution of where we had started. Jamie took that and then refined it.
I did not like it at all.
I don't know, it's kind of nice looking, but.
Usually with web, it's very easy to identify patterns. And with this design that we have, I was struggling to identify patterns. I couldn't really tell what was supposed to be the headings in order. I couldn't really tell what was supposed to be the body copy because there were several different sizes. And it felt like it was more expressive than functional because it doesn't conform to any of the standards that I've worked with in the past. Then it was color. Color threw me in a major way.
The white on red is gonna really hurt. I know we said no white on black. The white on blue is worse.
Either be yellow or red.
You can't have the red, yellow, and black together because it's the German flag, so.
Cool it down, whoa, it's too much. I kind of hope to move away from that in this new website, but we just embraced it completely. So
although it's still colorful, the colors were kind of toned down a little bit. In general, I really like the direction that it's headed.
That's fine. And I like each section. That's cool. That's a great photo.
Sorry, Jamie. We put you in a tough spot.
Why'd you hate it?
I did not like it at all. Just working with our brand, the bright primary colors, the blue and yellow, has been difficult for me since day one.
I hear you, Ben, but help the people understand.
This is kind of something that, as a designer, you have to be able to do. You have to be able to work, especially as a creative director. You have to be able to work with things that you don't like. When we talked, I said, this is personal preference. Could be perfect, but because I have such a distaste for it, I don't know.
Ben is spot on. And how about that self-awareness? Impressive. Now, I hate to break it to you, but not every project you work on is going to be your favorite. In fact, some of them are just stinkers. But the way you handle those situations is what will make or break your value to the team. When I find myself unhappy with the way a project is going, I take a breath, and then I try to find something else in the creative process that I can get excited about. In this case, Ben focused his efforts on the UX and UI, and I am so glad that he did.
So it'd be great to be able to filter. You want to schedule speaking engagement, click here, and that goes to the speaking engagement page. The curriculum content in an accordion makes total sense to me. My role in those meetings kind of took the form of a champion for the user. Are things easy to find? Are the interactions going to be simple to work with? Now, this is all stuff that we're going to test at a later date, but at these early phases, I was really focused on the usability overall. User experience is one thing, business goals are the second, and when those two align, they're fantastic. So if the user wants to buy one of our products and it's really easy for them to do so, that's a beautiful thing. The way that we're going to test this, obviously we're going to sit down with users and interact the site with them. But we're also going to be measuring the data that comes from the new website and comparing it to our benchmarks from the old site. As we're measuring and collecting the data on things like conversions and bounce rates, the beautiful thing about Webflow is that we can make these small incremental changes very, very quickly. A designer can go in there in a couple of minutes and completely change the layout of a page in order to test something else to see if that page works better. So by using Webflow, it's actually going to save us time when we iterate on the site later.
Having that complementary perspective really helped with the design process.
Now I feel a lot better. I'm still not fully satisfied with where we are, but it's a personal aesthetic decision versus something that I think is like a UX, UI issue.
Okay.
As far as like where we're at with the overall UX, usability, I think we're there, so.
Me too. I'm into it.
I feel really good about my part. I think we all did our best to get to a solution that everybody was happy with. For me, it was really nice to be able to do a site that was type-centric, and a lot of the clarity of design came down to how well the type worked together.
Design, I really like it. I mean, I already know Jamie personally and her design aesthetic. Over the time of like, I think 5 weeks, went to the direction that I think I really wanted her to make, like, which is very design heavy and simple and with really fun colors, which she used. It's very elegantly done. I'm pretty happy to see her design.
I think like looking back on that and where we ended up, I think the design's great. I do think it's unique. It's different. But
it's not out there.
Yeah, Jamie's a fantastic designer. She's incredible at type. I'm thrilled with the design.
I think this is our last design meeting, like an official one, right? Go team, go.
Yeah. You guys have fun with other meetings.
It's weird, like after this final design meeting that we had, essentially like wrapping up the design, I had this thought, and I've always kind of like told this story to myself. It doesn't matter if you're making like a website or like back in the day, when we were making commercials or short films and animations, I would say most projects that I start, I really don't know what's gonna happen. I'm not sure what it's gonna look like, but I'm 150% sure it's gonna work and we're gonna figure it out. And I've gone into every project in my whole life thinking that. And it's really scary because sometimes you do bite off more than you can chew, but even if something is unknown, I always like to tell myself, like, don't know what I'm doing here, but I know by the time we finish, it's gonna be great and it's gonna work.
Yeah.
And then we're gonna move on with our lives too. Is it me or did I almost sound like Michael Scott there? Somehow I manage. One last thing, and that thing is this. Webflow. Not only are they our sponsor for this wonderful series, but they're the future home of the future. Yeah. Anyways, links in the description. You know the drill. See you next time.
On the next episode of Design from Scratch, we are headed to Developmentville, where Sang is the mayor, and the sheriff, and city council, and well, you get it. It's all on him now.
I'm kind of scared because I'm the one who have to build it. So. Oh my God. Oh my God. I think I need support. All right. What do I do? Am I doing this right? I don't know, bro. Shit. If it doesn't turn out well, it's on me.
Here are these two. What?
Wait, what did you just say?
I said it's really hard to eat ice cream and run a conference call.
Oh man, you know how to live. Oh my God.